Welcome to the Watch Talk Fun podcast. My name is Griffin.
And I'm Rob.
And today we're going to be talking about a whole bunch of stuff, starting off with, I think Rob mentioned earlier that something about DC, like the comics.
Yeah, the DCEU apparently is coming to an end somewhat before it really even got started. I don't have the actual, quotes here. I probably should have done that. But apparently they're saying that from this point on, the movies, the DC movies, Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, Aquaman, all that shit, they're not necessarily going to try to tie into each other anymore.
Okay.
They said there's still going to be, they're still part of the same universe, but there's not going to be an overarching story that they're all kind of tied to, like they were trying to do, I guess.
To copy Marvel. Or
basically,
not to copy, but to compete with.
To try to compete with Marvel with the same system, but they couldn't do it. They didn't have the quality directors. They definitely didn't have the same quality of writers. Their movies had the same consistent problems. A lot of that probably stems from Zack Snyder, since he was in charge of most of them. So they're kind of giving that up and just going to let these movies stand as their own things now, and let the directors actually have their own input into what these films become, and don't, try to railroad them into certain things. So hopefully the movies will start being a little bit better.
Hopefully.
It's apparently Wonder Woman is the reason they're doing this, is because that movie did so well as just a standalone thing that was the backstory to the character that was introduced in Batman vs. Superman. It made $80 million, something like that, domestic, I think.
Wow, all right.
Yeah, it made a shitload of money.
What was the, how much did they spend on the movie?
Let me see if I can find out.
All right. While you're doing that, I got Rocket League. You gave me Rocket League for the first time. I've never actually played it until recently. And it is weirdly addicting.
Yeah, Rocket League's fucking awesome.
Yeah, right? It makes me so mad, though.
Oh, shit. So, total box office for Wonder Woman was $412,265,643.
Okay.
That's on Rotten Tomatoes. I wonder... Oh, fuck.
Well, how much did they spend?
That's what I'm looking for.
Just go to the wiki page. It usually tells you.
Yeah. So, the budget was $149 million. Pretty standard for an action movie.
Okay.
Well,
okay.
Maybe not standard, but for a blockbuster action movie, it's not outrageous, I guess.
I see.
But yeah, so they spent $150 and made over $400 million. So that's a pretty good investment.
That is actually a really good investment. Well, what were the other things you wanted to talk about? Oh, I remember.
People being mad, basically.
Yeah. So obviously this is done after the whole nightmare that was Vegas.
Yes, and we are not making light of that in any way.
No, there was
not at all. That was a horrendous act.
It's I wish it wasn't so, but I honestly feel numb at this point, because it's more people got killed in a senseless act of violence.
Yeah,
and it's it's not for lack of trying, but it almost feels like I can't feel,
Yeah, it's become such a common thing now that it's just another news story to an extent. Yes, this is the biggest mass shooting in U.S. history. So was the last one. So was the one before that.
Yeah, right.
That headline doesn't mean anything anymore. You know what I mean? It's become such a common thing now. It's really scary. It's
really scary and really sad.
Yeah.
One thing that I did see was someone tweeted out something about what people hear versus what they're actually saying.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, this is what people are saying, we need stricter gun control laws, just so people like this can't get a hold of them and murder everyone. We're we need to figure out how to do that. And then it's what they hear. It's we need to take all the guns, melt them down into a statue of a kneeling NFL player.
Yeah, I saw that same thing.
And it's it sucks.
It's hilarious,
so
but
true.
It's right.
Yeah.
That's where we're at. If somebody says something that makes sense, something logical.
Yeah, right.
And people take that and just run to every extreme they can think of with it. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know how they're actually still trying to find motive.
Yeah.
Like, they don't know why this guy did it.
Multi-millionaire real estate guy.
Yep.
Just all of a sudden apparently decided, hey, I'm going to go to Vegas. Or he was in Vegas a lot, I guess. And just decided, like, hey, this sounds like fun.
Well, that's the thing, though. Like, they said that he had, like, at least 10 guns in his room. Yeah. So whatever he did, it took a lot of planning.
Exactly. And it wasn't like he just, he didn't... The argument people like to use against being able to buy guns is that, oh, they can just walk into a Walmart and buy a gun and go do that. And, like, yeah, in some states that's true. Other states it's not.
Yeah.
I'm not actually 100% sure what the law is in Vegas. That may be the case. It might not need a license or something like that to buy a gun in Vegas. I don't really know. But with the number of guns he had and the amount of ammo he had, that was not a spur of the moment thing. He didn't just walk into a store and buy all that and then go to the hotel and do that.
Yeah. Oh, man. It's fucking rough.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy.
Hearts go out to anyone affected by that, obviously.
Yes. And I know that's kind of a meaningless gesture, but
yeah,
that's kind of the best we can do, I suppose, for right now, as individuals anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I'm working on my way to travel into hell so I can bring people back and hurt them more, but it's still in developmental stages.
Yeah. So
I guess in lighter news and completely changing topics from this horrible tragedy. Because it's like, I mean, like, what? That's the thing. It's like, what else can we say about it besides it's terrible? Like, it's still an ongoing story. So it's like,
yeah, I mean, and there's very obviously a problem with people who shouldn't have guns getting guns in this country. And I am a gun owner. I'm licensed. I live in Massachusetts. In order to buy a gun, I had to take a firearm safety course, pay $100 and apply for the license, and then wait several months before I actually got the license, before I could make a single purchase. Like, I don't think I could even buy ammo without that. I think that's a system that works. I know people in states that don't have, background checks. Oh, and then, yeah, every time I want to go buy a gun, not for ammo, but to actually purchase a gun, there's a background check. There's a form you got to fill out. It takes about an hour, the whole process, when you go to buy a gun. You fill out a form, guy takes it over to a computer, it runs through, I think, a state and a national database, and it does a criminal background check. It does all these different checks to make sure you can still legally purchase a gun, even though your license was issued X number of years ago. They're good for 6 years, I think, something like that.
Oh, okay.
And then you have to renew it, which involves filling out another application, paying another $100. So it's every time you renew, they do another background check, and then every time you buy a gun, they do another background check. I think that's a very good system. We don't have a lot of gun violence. I mean, there is gun violence, but not on the kind of scale like you see on a national level in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily agree with the way our state goes about banning certain guns and certain features on guns.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the system for being licensed to own a gun works, and I think something like that should probably be in place nationwide. Because the way it works right now is, like, I have a license to carry. If I go to almost any other state, because very few states, there's this concept of reciprocity.
Yeah, you have to get like a new license in that state, right?
Yeah, there's the concept of reciprocity where other states can recognize other states' licenses to carry and things like that. And they vary from state to state based on state laws and stuff like that. There's, like, I think, I'm not actually sure how many states recognize Massachusetts, but it's like less than 5, I think. And I don't think Massachusetts recognizes any out-of-state licenses.
That's fair.
Yeah. But it's so if I were to go to even like Connecticut, right, just 20 minutes south of me, and if I had my gun that is legal to carry on me, I would not be able to have that in that state that is just down the road. You know what I mean? Like, it's very strange, and
I understand.
Some sort of nationalized, but like my car license doesn't work like that, you know? Like I don't need to get another license in Connecticut to drive my car there.
Well, I mean, like, on the other hand, it's kind of like the way I look at it is, Massachusetts does its own thing, and it works for the most part. So when someone comes in from a state that doesn't do the stuff that Massachusetts does, and they're like, yeah, I have a license to carry, they're going to be like, well, how do we know that you're not a crazy guy who just got a license in a really easy state to get a license in?
I mean, it's pretty well known how strict Massachusetts is for gun laws. Massachusetts, New York, and California are pretty much the strictest in the country. California and New York are actually a lot harsher than Mass. They make you do disgusting things to rifles in California.
Okay.
But no, like that's part of the problem as well, though, is that like you said, they don't know you're not a crazy person. You're out of state. Yeah. They know nothing about you, but they can sell you a gun. That, I think, is a little extreme. Like, I know the people in the States where it's like that love it, but I don't see the harm in, at the very least, requiring a background check. Like I said, it takes about an hour. You know what I mean? It's not like it's not a 3-day waiting period, not a 7-day waiting period like it used to be. They run your information through their system, comes back clean, you're good. That's it. It seems very harmless to me, and it's at least a step towards making some kind of progress with this very real issue that we have.
Yeah. Because already, I mean, like, and that's the other problem that, I don't know. I mean, more and more of these mass shootings seem to be committed by people who have a license to carry, right? Am I just making that up?
I think,
because like the argument is like, well, criminals are gonna get guns.
I don't know if any of them have been from states where they needed licenses, but I know they've always said the guns, for the most part anyway, were purchased legally. Whatever, you know, through whatever means that is for whatever state they were purchased in.
And I think that's where people kind of, again, this is just my opinion, because it seems like that's the problem, that these huge mass shootings are happening by people who purchase these guns legally.
Right.
Like you don't hear about, oh, this criminal overlord just murdered 800 people with a black market gun with the serial number scratched off. Like you don't hear that.
Right.
Does that happen? Maybe.
That does happen. That's a lot of what you see in, like, you know, gang violence and stuff like that. That's where a lot of that comes from.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's criminals circumventing the law in the first place to get those guns, so the laws aren't going to affect them anyway, regardless of what they are.
And like my point is that, you know, you don't see them them being criminals attached to the label of, you know, worst mass shooting in modern U.S. history.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah. I mean, it's a crazy issue, because it's not just a matter of like, oh, make the guns go away, because you're talking about killing an entire industry. Like, that's thousands of jobs you're talking about ending. And then you're putting that kind of stigma on those people of, oh, they worked for Smith & Wesson or Colt. Like, no one's going to want to hire them because of that black mark. You know what I mean?
I never thought of it that way, but yeah.
It's a I don't know.
Yeah.
Smarter people than me don't seem to have an answer.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's talk about something better.
Less scary, yeah. Less polarizing.
Less violent.
Like
Halloween survival horror game streams.
So I guess shameless self-plug. Jesus, I feel like that's too dramatic of a jump.
That's fine.
From like, let's talk about gun violence, and then
talking about
here's
gun
this
violence.
Thing we're gonna do.
We're making a stand against gun violence by shooting lots of zombies in the head.
Virtually,
maybe.
Jesus Christ. Well, yeah, with October here, we are going to be doing a kind of like a Halloween, leading up to Halloween stream of all the Resident Evil games.
Well, the first 4 probably.
Like I said, all the Resident Evil games.
Oh, man. Okay, go on. I just thought of what we could... Depending on how this works out,
yeah,
there could be something maybe special for Halloween.
Ooh. But yeah, we're going to leave what we're doing on Halloween a little secret.
Oh, yeah.
Even though we just talked about it and cut it out in post.
Because editing is magic.
Editing is magic. Okay, so there's two things I wanted to mention.
Mm-hmm.
I guess first, since we're on the topic of video games, have you heard of... First of all, have you heard of the anime Sword Art Online?
Yes.
Okay. You know the general premise?
Yeah, trapped in an MMO.
Yeah.
You die in the game, you die for real life.
You die in the game, you die in real life.
Yeah. What was that movie? Stay Alive. Yeah.
That's
that
right.
movie was a piece of shit. Fucking Frankie Muniz was in that movie.
Oh, Jesus.
Malcolm in the Middle. What a fucking weird casting for that one.
Yeah, it's a little strange. But, so that thing that they did in Sword Art Online, because I can say fuck! I can say things without mumbling or fucking up my words, as disproved by myself while I was saying the sentence. They're actually working on Full Dive VR in real life.
Really?
Yeah. And it's actually more plausible than you might think.
All right. Sell me on it.
All right. So they've already...
There's like a horrifying implications to that.
So they've already been able to make a brain-computer interface.
Uh-huh.
And they've already been able to intercept signals from the brain to make your body walk.
Mm-hmm.
Like a paralyzed guy.
Yeah.
They were able to intercept signals from his brain to make his legs move.
Right. I mean, prosthetic limbs work like that too. They fire on your nerve
to an extent. It's like it's different things. You have to relearn how to grab things. It's not the same.
Right. But
like if you were just like, I'm going to grab shit, it's not going to work.
Yeah. But it's similar though. It's your nerves need to, the arm taps into, I think, your nerve endings or something, or it senses the nerve impulses based on what you're trying to do. I think that's how those work.
Mm-hmm. So
what you're talking about is just doing the same thing, just in the brain versus at the end of a
Correct.
limb.
It's called Immobile Full Dive. Basically, they somehow they either intercept everything. My thought is that it's basically going to be because when you dream, your body gets paralyzed,
right?
Or when you're sleeping, your body's paralyzed, so that when you're dreaming, you're not like punching, the fucking world.
Yep.
So it might be something like that where they induce that state, and then instead of a dream, you're just in the game world.
Interesting.
And like the signals it sends you are processed directly by your brain. And then like it intercepts everything else, so you can't move. And like those signals are then translated into the game world.
Huh.
So that you can see, touch, taste, feel everything that's happening.
So is it somehow influencing your brainwaves?
Sort of, I guess.
See, that seems scary.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it could be. But on the same point, it's like you could be in a virtual world and like you could fly around and fight dragons and shit without any real harm coming to you.
Yeah, but like, what happens if the game freezes or like the power goes out? Like your consciousness would just then be like shut off instantly. That's gonna fuck your brain up so bad.
I mean, it might be like it might be really jarring. Like you just woke up really suddenly.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously this is not anywhere near close to being done. But I doubt they would do this if there wasn't safety behind it. Like I don't think they're gonna make it so. Oh, if the game freezes, you die. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, you'd be surprised what kind of corners can be cut to get something to market.
That's true. Although I don't think anyone's gonna fund this if it's like, well, because they're gonna have the same concerns that you do.
Yeah.
Like
the
I think this is one of those.
Someone that's gonna fund it is gonna be like Mark Zuckerberg, and the danger of that is he wants all of your personal information anyway. So a direct link into your brain is like the fucking. I don't even know what the hell to call it. The best thing he could possibly ever hope for.
That is true. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see if this goes anywhere. Hopefully, it's used for good.
Nothing's ever used for good.
But think about it. I mean, all the porn VR,
See, I have no interest in VR porn.
full dive VR porn, where you're literally having sex with porn stars,
Yeah, maybe. That's still weird, though.
or whatever else your disgusting mind can think of. Like, I'm wondering, what if you played a female character?
I wonder if
Like,
that would
what
even work, though. Like, cause
What would that do to your brain?
yeah, does the male brain have the capacity to like feel
To
the
imagine-
same?
yeah.
Like, you're talking about feeling something that isn't there, and like there's corresponding nerves, I guess. Oh my god, would it feel like? Oh god.
Wait, go on. Let's go through your line of thinking. Would it feel like what?
So
Like your penis is being pushed inside of your body?
no, I was thinking. So the penis and the clit are basically the same thing.
More or less.
It's the same nerve endings. You actually lose some when it becomes a dick.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you know what? I just thought of something. What if they just take the brainwaves of females who are going through that stuff, they analyze that, and then if you play a female character, it does that. Like, it replicates those in your brain.
Yeah,
Like,
but
would that just, like, fuck with your gender identity?
I don't know. Maybe?
I mean, it'd be interesting.
In which case, would that
to
be
be
like... Would that be like a cheaper or safer alternative for like trans people?
Ooh, maybe.
Although then you're saying, well, like live out your fantasy in this other world and don't actually do that. You know, that's kind of a weird thing, I guess.
True. But at the same point, it's basically real at that point. Like, if you're fully immersed in this game and you can feel, taste, and see, and like all your other senses work,
Yeah.
that's a real place you're in.
Yeah, but you're still not physically there, though.
Well, I mean, who's to say we're physically here now?
Yeah, true. I mean, just because you can touch something doesn't mean it's actually
Exactly.
there, I guess. Yeah.
Yep. Welcome to the future. This is assuming we make it. If you go back a couple episodes or a podcast, we talked about AI destroying the entire world. That's still a very real possibility.
Well, there's also Trump trying to start fucking nuclear war with
Nuclear
North Korea.
conflict with North Korea, yeah.
So I'm pretty sure we're all gonna die.
Well, that was a good run. Was it though? I mean, no, I'm kidding. I
Yeah.
feel like it. I don't know. I feel like we'll avoid nuclear death.
Hopefully.
Yeah. But yeah, this full dive VR, I'm kind of excited for it because just that thought alone makes me super.
If you're in full dive VR and there's a nuclear
Yeah.
war, and your body gets obliterated, does your brain know it? Can you live forever as a computer, like by
No.
accident?
I would assume that you would die immediately. You would just be in the virtual world, and all of a sudden you'd be dead.
But so the way you're talking about this working, essentially some part of your consciousness would have to be in the game.
I mean, maybe.
So
We
maybe
don't really
a
know
part
how
of you would live on
consciousness is.
forever. So this is the way of the future.
I mean, it could put like an echo of yourself in there,
Oh, that's
unless we
spooky.
figure out how to directly transmit consciousness. Like, there's no way of really knowing. And then there's also the whole, like, you know, maybe you get your consciousness uploaded, but you're still alive. You know, which version is you?
Yeah, that's
And, like,
actually the premise of the game Soma, and I really
It
want to
is
play
the premise
that,
of the game Soma, yeah.
because that game
there's, like,
looks fucking horrifying.
Yeah, and then there's, like, the continuity thing,
Yeah.
where, like, if you kill yourself right then and there, then you are now the consciousness inside of this program or whatever,
Right.
which just seems like, I don't...
And in order to do that, you have to determine what a consciousness even is. Like,
Exactly.
Is it a brainwave? Is it a chemical exchange? Like, what actually is consciousness? And it's crazy that we don't know that. And I don't know if we can know that.
Well, I mean, it's we're studying ourselves essentially. We're trying to figure out how
It's not even that. It's the
how us
brain
works.
studying itself.
Exactly. So it's very difficult.
Yeah.
But we can do it, I think. I feel like we will. Or we'll get the super AI to do it, and it'll be like, oh yeah, this is consciousness. Boom. And we'll be like, oh shit, it was that simple?
I mean, as long as it tells us the answer before it kills us.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the whole thing is just a big waste of time.
So, the other thing I wanted to talk about, besides the VR stuff, was actually this Netflix series that I started watching.
Mm-hmm.
It's called American Vandal.
Yeah, I've seen some people talking about that. I don't know what it is, though.
It's actually really, really good.
Huh.
It's like a mockumentary kind of thing. Like, I don't think it's real. I think it is all, like, scripted and stuff.
Okay.
But it's gripping. Like, it's really compelling. Because the premise of the thing is, did this guy vandalize, like, 20-something cars by spray painting dicks on them? Like, that's the premise.
Okay.
And it's supposed to be, it's supposedly shot by, like, a high schooler.
Huh.
Who was just trying to get to the truth of it.
Interesting.
But it's really funny. Like, the guy, Dylan, is this typical, like, stoner, dipshit kind of guy.
Uh-huh.
Who would regularly draw dicks, which is why everyone thinks it was him. But he's like, no, one of the points they make is like, the dicks aren't even the same. You know, he's like, no, I always draw ball hairs. You know, there were no ball hairs on the dicks on the car. You know,
that's
the ball hair
great.
is the most important part of the dick. And like that's a real point that they make.
I mean, that makes sense, though. That's exactly the kind of defense like a high school kid would use.
Exactly. Like, it's really well done. Whoever made it, it's very, very funny.
Yeah, that sounds cool. I gotta check that out.
Oh, it's 100% worth it. You'll get sucked in before you know it. You're like, I want to know, did he draw the dicks or not? God damn it!
Oh yeah, talking about Netflix, are there any new episodes of Terrace House? Are you still watching that?
I haven't in a little while. I think Aloha State probably is finished by now, since it's, you know, winter.
Yeah.
Or it's not winter yet, but I don't even know what the fuck season it is right now.
Are you saying winter is coming?
I'm saying I am. Oh no.
Yeah, I haven't watched that show since probably the last time we talked about it, whenever the hell that was.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it too.
For some reason, I really enjoyed it, and then I just I think I started watching Twin Peaks, maybe, and just completely dropped off of that. Which, Twin Peaks is great. You should watch that. It's a really good show.
Okay.
We should watch Twin Peaks and then play Deadly Premonition, because that's basically Twin Peaks the game.
Except janky as shit.
Yeah, but that's why it's so good. Because it's such a goofy game. Like, it's supposed to be this, like, survival horror, like, detective mystery thing, because it's but it plays like crap, and it looks awful. It came out on 360, and it looks like a Dreamcast game.
Oh my god.
I think it actually
no good.
It might have actually started development on Dreamcast. I know it was, like, kind of a small project for a long time. But, like, the guy that made it, I think it's Swery65. It was either Swery65 or Suda51. But I'm pretty sure it was Swery.
I think it was Swery.
Yeah. And, like, he claims he had never even heard of Twin Peaks before making this game. But,
yeah, bullshit.
Like, there's one of the characters in this game, one of the side characters, is this old lady that carries around, like, a crock pot. And she talks about, like, the crock pot wanting things, and, like, it wants to tell people stuff. And in Twin Peaks, there's an old woman that carries around a log and talks about how the log tells her things and wants to talk to people and stuff. Like, they're the exact same characters.
Yeah.
But somehow he's never heard of Twin Peaks. And it's just, it's so weird because it's done in such, like, a loving way that even though it's not a great game, it's still really enjoyable to play.
Wait, is Swery the game? Like, who?
That's the guy.
The guy?
That's the developer's name, yeah. Like,
I'm seeing a lot of Hidetaka Suehiro.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I thought that was a sweary game.
Oh, it is. Yeah, he's sweary.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I just clicked on it. It's like, yeah, sweary. Okay, cool.
Yeah. But it's a really fun game. It's on PC, but I can't get it to run properly. The intro runs okay, and then I get to the main menu and it runs at like 4 frames a second, and then it just continues to run like that afterwards. And I've gone through the Steam forums, I've gone through all kinds of shit, and haven't been able to figure it out. So I think I might have to just play the 360 version if we're gonna do that at some point. Which is, for whatever reason, that's the only version that like works the way it's supposed to. Because the PS3 version has all kinds of weird graphical glitches, and I think it maybe doesn't run great. Like the frame rate might be even worse. And then, like I said, the PC version is just all fucked up for me. I never actually finished that game. I was rushing to finish it before the PS4 came out because I knew I was going to trade in my 360 towards that. And I never ended up finishing it in time.
Maybe we'll upload that. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to talk about today?
All
right.
I don't know. I can't think of anything else.
Hey, I mean, we've been running for about half an hour.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
Yeah. Everybody's Golf on PS4 is fucking awesome, and everyone wants to play it.
Everybody's Golf?
Yeah, it's Hot Shots. For up until this game, Hot Shots Golf was Hot Shots in the US and Everybody's Golf in, I think, Japan and Europe. It was at least Japan, if not also Europe. So it's the same game, they just changed the name. That seems to be a trend now for some reason. Like Resident Evil 7, it was always Biohazard in Japan, and Resident Evil here, because of the ban Biohazard had a trademark. So now Resident Evil 7 came out, and the official title is Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. So they're kind of, everyone seems to be kind of trying to make all those shifts of like not having weird name changes when they come to the US, which is good, I guess.
Yeah.
I forgot where I was going with that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of interesting, though.
Yeah, I guess.
All right. I guess let's cue up the let's cue up the end music, I guess. No, fuck. Let's cue up that smooth jazz. That's what it is.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, baby. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for today. We will be back next week with more stuff. Keep a lookout for a bunch of shit. Hopefully we're gonna be releasing a lot more videos, hopefully, over the next couple of weeks.
Yep, we got more Resident Evil Code Veronica X coming up. We got
Indeed.
We just started recording some Dead Space 3 co-op streams. That's coming. That's gonna be interesting.
That's gonna be super fun.
That game is not great.
No, it is not.
I thought it was good. I don't know what I was thinking.
It is so bad. It kind of just pees on the grave of Dead Space. But anyway.
Yeah.
This is Watch Talk Fun. I'm your host, Griffin.
And I'm Rob.
And go fuck yourself. And we will see you next week.
Go fuck yourself, San Diego.
What? Why San Diego?
Haven't you ever seen Anchorman?
Pulling back the old memes.
Yeah. Yeah, because he tries to say San Diego means the whale's vagina.
Oh, yeah.